welcome to Arty Makes. I'm going to show you how you can draw Santa. Now all you'll need for this is something to draw with, and I've got a pencil and a pen and a rubber. That's all you need, and obviously a piece of paper. Now we're going to start with some guidelines, and we're actually going to use hearts as our guidelines, and I think that's quite appropriate because we all love Santa, don't we? So you need to draw a smallish heart, not too small, but a smallish heart in the top third of your piece of paper like that. And above that, you're going to draw another heart, and this one's going to be upside down and intersect with that first heart that you've done. A bit like that. And this one's a similar size to the first one, but maybe just a little bit taller. Then, at the base of the first heart, you're going to do another upside down heart, and this one is going to be a bit bigger, and you can probably guess what that's going to be. Now I know it doesn't look like much yet, but I promise you it will do. So we're going to start with Santa's face, and we're actually going to start with his moustache. So where those two hearts intersect, you're going to sort of draw that in, and that will be Santa's moustache. Now the bottom of that first heart is going to be Santa's beard. So I've just added some sort of whiskery bits there. Now just above the moustache, you can draw the nose, and I've got Santa's eyes closed to make him look happy. Now above that, I'm going to do the rim of Santa's hat, and that was following the curve of that second heart. So I've got his ears on the side, and then if you go up from the rim of his hat, you can actually draw the rest of his hat there. So that's the sort of white fluffy bit. Then draw up the top of his hat, not forgetting sort of the bobble bit at the bottom, the pom-pom. Okay, so it's starting to look a little bit more like Santa. Now I'm going to do Santa with his arms in the air as if he's going ho, 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 and looking really rather cheery. But if you wanted him in a different position, that would be fine. You can still use these hearts as a bit of a guide. So I'm doing one side and then I'm doing the other to try and keep it even and try and keep it symmetrical. There's the cuff of his sleeve, and then, because it's gold, Santa's got mittens on, which is good because hands are a bit tricky to draw, so it's quite good that he's got mittens on. So just doing the same on the other side. So this is all looking all right. There's the mitten on his other side, rounded off like that. Now I think it's time for us to do Santa's belly. So this is why we had the rather large heart. This is going to be his tummy. So we're going to emphasize that shape a little bit by drawing a curved line at the sort of base of that third heart that you did, the biggest heart. And that's going to be Santa's belt. So if you make a line that goes straight down from there, it would actually look like Santa's being held in by his belt. Right in the middle, draw yourself a square and then another square inside that. And then you need sort of the buckle bit. So you can add some buttons if you'd like to, or you can add a bit of fur going down the front of Santa. It's entirely up to you what you do there. So following that same curved line from the belt, do two lines underneath, and that will be the fur trim of Santa's coat. Next we need to move on to his legs. Now to give it the idea that Santa is actually joined up underneath all of that suit, if we draw lines from where the belt ends, that will be kind of where his body would be inside. So if you just draw two lines sort of just coming in a little bit, and then draw the inside of his leg just there, that should give you the idea that he's a full form, if you like. So now we need to give him some nice big boots. He definitely needs warm, sturdy boots. So I'm making these quite large, and I'll be able to add a little bit of detail to these in a little while. So giving him big treads on the bottom of his boots to make sure he keeps nice and warm. So just doing the other one. It's often hard to do the same thing twice and keeping it looking the same on a drawing, but just persevere, and you can always rub it out if you're not happy with it. So now it's time to draw with a pen if you'd like to. This is what I'm doing anyway. And I like doing this because it neatens up your drawing and you can fix any mistakes that you might have made. So you can really see Santa starting to appear from our drawing. Now, a lot of artists use guidelines like we've done to do drawings, and it does strengthen your work, does strengthen your drawings really. So I would recommend it because it gives it shape and it gives it form. So that's what we've done there. So it does all look like it's from the same thing. Now, you might already be a very confident artist, confident drawer, but I would recommend doing guidelines because it really will strengthen your work. Look for the shape of the thing that you're drawing. See if you can see the basic shape, the basic form. Sketch that on and then do all the detail later. So I'm actually fixing some of the drawing that I've done already, so with the pen, and I'll be able to rub out the pencil line in a little while. But you can kind of see how this is all working. Now this is a very cartoony style Santa. Obviously you can use the same heart guidelines to draw something a bit more realistic if you wanted to. But this is what I'd like this to be. I just think it works for me. Now, what would you like to do with this drawing? Well, that's up to you as well, isn't it? Now, you could write a letter to Father Christmas on the back of it. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Or maybe you could give it to a friend or a relative or put it up on your wall. You could even draw it on a card, couldn't you? And give it to somebody. Now, I'm just drawing the legs now. Now, did you notice I put some little marks above his belt? That's to give the illusion that it's very 3D. His tummy's 3D, and the fabric is sort of gathered a little bit near his tummy there. Now, just doing his boots and his treads. And if you look, I've added a shine to the toe of his boots. So that's looking all right. Now I need to make sure that the ink has dried. So I'm actually going to start rubbing out at the top of the drawing rather than over the bit that I've just done. Now my ink from the pen I've used dries really quickly, but I would recommend just testing a little bit before starting to use your rubber, because it would be awful if you smudged your drawing at this stage. Now I think I'm going to speed this bit up a little bit so we can whiz to the end of the drawing. Nearly done, and there. Okay, so I just want to add a floor so it doesn't look like Father Christmas is floating, and I can also fix any lines that might not be quite right. Now I've rubbed out all the pencil marks. So now I could use this picture to give to a friend to colour in, or I could colour it in myself, and I've already done one, to be honest. Here's one that I've done earlier, and this one's a little bit bigger, but it's still using the hearts as a guideline. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and come back for some more Arty Makes really soon. Take care. Bye bye.